The president and vice president are proud to be leaving behind the strongest economy in the world. And the president and the vice president are proud to have changed America for the better. That's going to be their focus in the upcoming remaining days. You heard the president say that we have 74 days left of his administration, and they are going to make every day count on behalf of the American people, regardless of who voted for them.
If you call that the world's greatest economy, I can't wait to see what Trump and the rest of his amazing team do. America, we're headed for prosperity like we've never seen before. The Democrats, this one's gotta sting. This one's gotta hurt. But I can't say anything other than this. You absolutely deserve to swallow this gigantic L. This loss is exactly what your out of touch, cynical, condescending, narcissistic, out of touch, out of your depth, disconnected, global elitist ruling class needed more than anything. She actually said that they left America better, that they left the greatest economy in the world. Is that why nobody can afford gas? Nobody can afford groceries? Nobody can go on vacation? They're getting hurt on all levels because of inflation. We've got a world that has multiple wars. The Middle East is in the biggest bedlam unrest since World War II. A mother has to walk down the supermarket aisle and literally negotiate and calculate in her mind, do I want to give my kids bacon tonight, or do we need toilet paper? Which one's more important? And you're going to say you left America better, the worst border crisis in the history of our country, transgender surgeries for illegal criminal migrants, when American veterans and Americans are suffering, struggling day in, day out, just to make the bare necessities meet, just to literally living paycheck by paycheck. And you have the audacity to say you left America for the better? Well, the beautiful thing is the American people have spoken. And my goodness, if you don't take stock, if you don't take lesson, if you don't spend any time in introspection, Democratic Party, you're in for a world of hurt for decades to come. And this has got to hurt even more. Check this out. Probably the worst vice presidential candidate pick in the history of politics, Tampon Tim Weirdo Walz. He not only lost the general election, Kamala Harris not only lost in a landslide, he didn't even win his own county that his whole family has lived in for years in Minnesota. Look at Blue Earth County. Trump beat him in his own, literally, backyard. By the way, this is a county that Biden took 51% back in 2020. You hypocrites, you deserve this huge avalanche of a loss. You deserve this pain. You deserve this hurt. And you still, to this day, you won't admit. They still point the finger at everybody else except themselves. On top of that, this grand hallucination, this is the party of hallucinatory disorders. They are all suffering from apparitions. Karine Jean-Pierre, literally 2 days after the election, 2 days after a landslide victory for Make America First, for secure border, for common sense, for practicality, for a healthcare system that serves us, for a government that serves us, she has the audacity to say that this administration, Biden-Harris, they left us with a golden ticket. They left us with the greatest country ever. They are absolutely nuts. The only way that I can justify this kind of action is the fact that the propagandized media machine, which is why channels like mine are so important, they have done such a number on these radical, extreme liberals. Take a look at talk show host Jimmy Kimmel, who absolutely breaks down live on camera. Watch this.
To be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
You know what, Jimmy? It would be really nice if you could get that emotional about your own country that has given you hundreds of millions of dollars and allowed somebody as untalented as you to have a career of just yapping away nonsense and spewing sewage across the live airwaves every single night. He gets emotional over Ukraine and then spews more misinformation and lies. Oh, this is bad for women. What women? Who? What? Where? How? Make sense out of that. Propagandist media told you he was going to take away your rights. He's not going to do that. He's going to ban abortion federally. He's not going to do that. So what do you mean by that? By poor people? Excuse me. Hello, check please. Everybody is poor right now in America. We've been poor for the last 4 years. You know when we weren't poor? The 4 years prior when Trump was in office. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of these Hollywood momos who continue to just lie and lie? An avalanche, a cavalcade of lies keep coming out of their mouths. Okay, so you guys lost. It was a terrible loss. One of the worst losses in the Democratic Party history of the entire faction. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to spend this time actually looking inward? Are you going to spend some time in introspection, actually maybe objectively looking at the pros and cons? What worked, what didn't work? Who did we reach? Who did we not reach? How did this happen? No. You know what they're going to do? They're going to blame Latino voters. They're going to blame blacks. And they're going to blame American voters. And they're going to call them misogynists. Check this out. And then don't go anywhere. Come back, because I actually have an extremely powerful video I'm going to share with you after this of a Democrat who is sharing the absolute brutal truth as to why Kamala and Tampon Tim lost. You don't want to miss that. But first, check this out.
And finally, we talk a lot about these different demographics and these assumptions of where they're going to go. Latinos in Texas, a district that's 97% Latino, went 75 percentage points for Donald Trump. Why?
Misogyny.
It's on the border.
It's
the border
misogyny.
crisis is on their doorstep. And they were begging people to care about it for years. We need to take some lessons.
That's what that was.
The lessons are not misogyny.
Knock. Who's there? Oh my gosh, it's whooping.
There you have it, folks. That's why they lost. They lost because of misogynists. There you have it. It was the Latinos, those macho, misogynist Latinos and black voters. That's why it was men, uneducated white women, uneducated men, and misogynists. That's the reason that we lost. Don't ever forget this, Nez Nation, my fellow Americans. You know as well as anybody what it feels like to be around somebody who constantly points the finger at everything and everyone else rather than them own selves to take a little bit of personal accountability. We've all been around those people. Let me know in the comments, how does it feel to be around somebody who blames everything and everyone besides themselves? Let me know in the comments. Okay, get ready for this. This, to me, is absolutely amazing. This liberal Democratic strategist who absolutely obliterates the party with some of the most brutal truth-telling I've ever seen on CNN. Check this out.
Now, I'm going to speak some hard truths to my friends in the Democratic Party. This is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the party of common sense, which is what the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons. We don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's the politically correct thing to do. It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do. When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing a campus at Columbia University because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university, and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition that we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings and trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names, and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling and just speak to people like they're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Michael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden is not responsible for that. Neither is Kamala Harris. It is a problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know how, probably 10 years, if not longer on this. We need to get back to being the party of common sense, that people look at us and say, we understand you. We appreciate what you say because you speak our language. And until we do that, we should stop blaming other people for our own mistakes.
Now that is somebody who should be on The View, not Sunny hosted. Let me know what you think of that. That was Democratic strategist Julia Roginski, who actually takes a little bit of accountability, actually conveys the truth about this entire radical extreme party that has gotten so far left that even libertarians like Bill Maher, who I can't stand, says, I don't recognize this Democratic Party. These are not the liberals that I remember. And I think most people feel the exact same way. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to hear from you. I'm just so proud of our amazing, real, true blue, of the people, for the people, by the people, Americans to the marrow of the bone, just like me and you. I'm so proud of you that you did the right thing on Tuesday. I'm so proud of you that you came out in droves and voted. And I'm so looking forward to Donald Trump and the amazing team of J.D. Vance, Tulsi Gabbard, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Elon Musk, and all of them, Vivek, Tucker, the entire amazing new Avengers, America First. I've never been this hopeful for my kids and my grandkids. I haven't been this hopeful in ages, and it just feels like way too long. It's a long time coming. And I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you. My fellow Americans, we dodged 3 bullets. And these were the second 2. 3 bullets, America. We dodged 3 bullets, and we're finally going to make America great again. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to America. Congratulations to all of us. Congratulations to our future generations. This is going to be epic. And I want you to follow me on this journey. Make sure you subscribe. Sign up for our free newsletter in the pinned comment, show notes, and description. Our mission was to get our country back. And now our mission is to fortify that so that we are invincible. And we never, ever, ever let the propagandist apparatus of the DNC and the mega donors, the corrupt fake media, ever penetrate our fortress again. We need to be invincible. It is independent media grassroots organizations like us that keep free speech alive, keep the truth prominent and not just below the surface, but up on the top so everybody can see it as it should be. So please tap that like button. Join us. I can't wait to share more with you. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you haven't seen them. You can tap my face right there if you want to subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.